Okay, so in this video, I'm just going to be explaining the process by which I will blend my colors to prepare for painting a pet portrait. So what you have here is I've prepared a little palette of paints. It's mostly going to be some blues, a purple, a green, and then red. The little bit of yellow is because I like to tint my white a little bit, just that it's not that pure white, just to add a little bit more color variation in there. And then that is just to make a little bit of tinted blue as well, just because this is going to be primarily cool colored painting, just because this is going to be a gray cat, and I like painting them in these warm, well, not warm, cool blues and greens and purples. I think it looks really nice with them. So basically what I have here, these are the colors that I poured. I have a picture of all the tubes of paint. I'm using Winsor Newton Galleria acrylics. Those are my favorite brand. And so this is where I will start blending my paints. I only make a couple colors when I'm about to start my painting. And that would be, for this one, I'm going to do 2 tinted whites. And then I'm going to have a dark black substitute. I do not like using black, just regular black paint in my paintings, just because I feel like it dulls the shading a little bit. Like, if you looked at a shadow, you're not going to find a shadow that's pure black. It's always going to be some sort of a mixture of a darker color. So this is going to be a nice neutral gray color that's going to be used instead of black in this painting. So I'll usually start by blending that first, I just sort of make it up as I go pretty much. So what I have here is I believe this is going to be ultramarine. Yeah, this is ultramarine. I have a little splash of phthalo green and then this permanent rose. In this painting, I just have a little bit of red just in case I need to add some warm accents in there. I'm using permanent rose just because this is a more magenta-y sort of red, instead of using something that's more orange, such as this cadmium red hue. I feel like that's just going to blend better with these cool colors that I'm using, just because it is that slightly cool tinted red as opposed to a warmer tinted red. So I'll start out by mixing probably a little bit of blue and red just to get a nice dark purple, and then I'll add a little bit of green as I go to add some more neutral gray to that, because mixing red and blue gets purple, so that's going to be a pretty dark color. I might have to add some red here, and then that green will turn it into a more neutral shade of gray, so it won't be as purple. It'll just be more like a black substitute. It'll be darker. I don't want to add too much green though, because then it might overpower the mixture and it'll look more like a dark teal than anything. I think I might need to add some more red to this now that I'm looking at it, because it's looking more like a dark blue more than anything. So I'll add just a little bit more of that red, that rose I should say. And here I like to do little swatches on the side just to see how that works in. See how that's turning into like a purpley shade? That's gonna mix in nicely with the blue and the green. I might have just added a little bit too much green there, but that's okay. That's okay. We are making things up as we go. And as you can see, it's turned into this really nice, dark color that'll be nice for our shadows instead of using just a regular black. So that's how I like to do things. And I really like this little mini palette knife just because it's good for mixing. It doesn't make it so that I'm like smearing the paint all over the palette paper. And I'm also using palette paper right now just because I'm really lazy and I hate cleaning palettes. That's it. So now let's mix our tinted whites. As you can see, I've added just like a very small drop of the blue because it quickly overpowers the white. And you don't want it to be like too blue because this is still just gonna be a tinted color. See, look at how much blue is already in there. And I only added I didn't even squeeze out a drop. I just sort of let it scrape against the palette paper, and that's gonna be, I might honestly need to add some more white to that because that's very blue as it is. So I'm gonna grab some from our regular white, and I'll also have just a little bit of regular white on the side too, just in case I need to brighten any of my other colors without wanting to deal with the tinted colors in there. So let's see, this is looking pretty good so far. So let's move on to our tinted yellow. I've added just a little bit more yellow because it's a lighter color than the blue. But I'll start by just dabbing it in there, mixing it. That actually might be a good amount right there, because that's exactly the color that I want to see. But I haven't mixed it into all the white paint yet. That's actually a pretty good color. Yeah, that looks nice. So yeah, that's going to be the colors that I mix. I would probably suggest mixing more values in between, but like if you're working on this painting, I probably would make like a dark value here, a slightly lighter, and then I'll make a little gradient almost of color swatches to pick from, but this is just a pet portrait and I can't really be bothered to do that because it's going to be pretty fast, so I'll just mix as I go. So that is pretty much a rundown of how I will blend colors in preparation for a painting, and I hope that helped you.